our trader watching this and many other things that are happening in the market right now, and that is Jeff Kilburg. Jeff Kilburg of KKM Financial. Jeff, what do you make of the market action today? I know it's kind of a lame question on my part, but I'm not going to lie, I don't know what else to ask.
Sully, it has been chaotic, it has been skittish, and it has been remarkable to see. And as you know, we always talk about the VIX, which tries to measure option premiums in the S&P 500. Well, if we look at the realized move, and remember, the VIX measures the implied move, the expectation of a move, but the realized move today in the S&P 500 from the bottom to the top was over 9%. That's a VIX of 148. And we saw the actual VIX range, which is implied volatility, from 60 down to 38. So this is, I know I'm saying these numbers casually, but this is seismic. This is historic. To see volume with it, I am optimistic that I think we are seeing the skittish nature of both the NASDAQ 100, led by the Mag 7, as well as the S&P 500. The market is almost screaming at the White House to give us some shimmer of hope. It's remarkable to see this, but I think when you talk about the Mag 7, NVIDIA almost got up to $102. So what led us in 23 and 24, which was revalued, and you know I was a big critic and skeptic of the Mag 7 being over-concentrated and overvalued, maybe it has the ability to lead us out of here. But I think President Trump, at this moment in time, you talk about the carrot, you talk about the stick. President Trump has been using the stick the whole time. Yeah. It's time for a carrot. Give a carrot to Japan. Give a carrot to the EU. Give us something, some transparency, because ultimately, Sully, and I'm mad at myself, and I think a lot of market participants and portfolio managers, we just never saw this coming. No. This was being completely offside.
Jeff, I appreciate the honesty, but I don't think anybody did. Wall Street didn't. We showed their price targets at the top of the show. Most of them, not all, most have brought them down. They're still well above where we are now.
But and they'll reconfigure again when we recover.
If Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and UBS, if they saw this, those would have been in their end-of-year price targets to start the year. They weren't. I don't think anybody saw this. I don't know if you're prescient or I'm prescient, Jeff. You ping me at the top of the show that the NASDAQ had just turned positive. We looked at the data. It was not positive. But we saw this huge spike in S&P futures, I think, in a matter of seconds. Something weird happened with the data at the top of the 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock where you are. But I will say this. The NASDAQ is positive right now. I want to bring it up for our viewers. The S&P and Dow are still negative. The NASDAQ, and Jeff, maybe we are just prescient. The NASDAQ up 0.4% right now. I don't know where we'll end. 4 o'clock's a long way off. How comforted, if at all, are you in what's been a garbage market with technology stocks in the green right now?
Well, every time we see the NASDAQ 100 futures move lower, we are seeing higher lows. So there's a slight amount of comfort there, but this is so skittish. You're seeing the algorithms really try to better understand positioning, repositioning, deleveraging. Last Friday, we saw the most amount of puts ever bought. So when you see people reposition or trying to cover, it's so fascinating, you know, when you talk about the options market, because the options market does dictate where we're going to see equity markets going. But what's the biggest component of options, Sully? Time decay, right? Yeah. So this time decay that we're seeing all these options, we are now putting on the president and the White House. There is a time decay component here because now you're cracking confidence, CEOs, and earnings season coming up. I'm scared. I'm scared of what they're going to say if we don't see something tangible in the next couple of days.